Viktor Gyokeres is finally starting to prove why Arsenal paid over £60 million to bring him to North London. After months of criticism and doubt, the Swedish striker is showing signs that he might just be worth the investment. But this story is not about a triumphant arrival. It is about struggle, adaptation, and the harsh reality that even world-class goalscorers can find themselves fighting to survive in the Premier League. 11 goals in 30 appearances. On paper, that looks acceptable. For most strikers, that would be a respectable return in their first season at a new club. But Viktor Gyökeres is not most strikers. This is a man who scored 54 goals last season. 54, the expectations were never going to be reasonable. The pressure was always going to be enormous. And for the first half of this campaign, Gyökeres has been drowning under the weight of both. Arsenal are leading the Premier League title race. They brought in Gyökeres to be the final piece of the puzzle, the striker who would guarantee them goals when it mattered most. Instead, what they got was a player who looked lost, disconnected, and visibly struggling to understand what was being asked of him. The discourse around his performances has been overwhelmingly negative. Fans have questioned whether Mikel Arteta made a mistake. Pundits have wondered aloud whether Gyökeres was just a product of a weaker league. The noise has been deafening. But something has changed in recent weeks. 6 goal contributions in his last 6 games. The numbers are starting to move in the right direction. More importantly, Arteta is seeing progression. The manager is noticing improvements that go beyond simple statistics. And Gyökeres himself has opened up about what he has been going through, offering rare insight into the mind of a striker trying to find his feet at one of the biggest clubs in England. Here is what makes this situation so compelling. Gyökeres is not making excuses. He is not blaming his teammates. He is not complaining about tactics or systems. He is being honest about the challenge. He is admitting that it has been difficult. And he is drawing a direct comparison to another period in his career when he faced similar struggles and eventually conquered them. When Gyökeres moved to Portugal from Coventry City, things did not click immediately. He has said so himself. It was not perfect from the beginning. There was a period of adjustment. He had to learn the style. He had to understand how his new team wanted to play. He had to embrace a different way of doing things. And once he did, he became unstoppable. 97 goals in his time at Sporting CP. 97, that is the output of a striker who figured it out. Now, he is trying to do the same thing at Arsenal. The Premier League is different. The speed is different. The physicality is different. The tactical demands are different. Everything is different. And Gyökeres has been open about the fact that it is challenging. He has used that exact word, challenging, not impossible, not beyond him, just challenging. That tells you everything about his mindset. He knows he can do this. He just needs time. The question is whether Arsenal have the patience to give him that time. They are in a title race. Every point matters. Every goal matters. Every moment of hesitation or uncertainty from their striker could be the difference between winning the league and falling short. The pressure is not just on Gyökeres to perform. The pressure is on Arteta to make the right decisions about when to use him and how much rope to give him while he continues to adapt. And here is where things get interesting. Arteta is backing him, publicly and clearly. The Arsenal manager was asked about Gyökeres in his pre-match press conference ahead of the Chelsea game. His answer was revealing. He praised the striker for being much more consistent in his actions and consecutive actions. He highlighted the defending input, which he said has been terrific from the beginning. That is significant. Arteta is not just looking at goals. He is evaluating the complete package. He is seeing a player who is working hard, contributing defensively and gradually improving in the areas that matter most. But Arteta went further. He specifically mentioned attacking improvements, understanding movement, the timing of runs, presence and movement with the ball. These are the details that separate good strikers from great ones. These are the elements that Gyökeres is starting to master within Arsenal's system. And according to Arteta, he has been more prolific in front of goal to help the team win more games. That is the bottom line. Arsenal are winning. Gyökeres is contributing. The process is working. Yet the narrative around him remains largely negative. Why? Because expectation and reality are miles apart. When you score 54 goals in a season, people expect you to replicate that immediately in your next environment. They do not account for the variables. They do not consider the adjustment period. They just want results. Now, and when those results do not come fast enough, the criticism becomes harsh and relentless. Gyökeres has every Arsenal fan dreaming that he will replicate the impact he had in Portugal. 97 goals, that is the benchmark. That is what they want to see. But the reality is that it took him time to reach that level at Sporting CP. It was not instant. There was an adjustment phase there too. And if history is any guide, once Gyökeres fully settles into the Arsenal system, the goals will flow. The signs are already emerging. 6 goal contributions in his last 6 matches is not a fluke. That is a trend. That is a player finding rhythm. That is a striker starting to understand where to be and when to be there. The timing of his runs is improving. His movement off the ball is becoming sharper. His presence in key moments is growing. All of this points to a player who is on the verge of becoming exactly what Arsenal hoped he would be. But there is still work to do. Gyökeres is 27 years old. This is his prime. He does not have years to figure this out. He needs to accelerate the adaptation process. He needs to build on the momentum of his recent performances. He needs to prove that the 6 goal contributions in 6 games is not an outlier, but the new normal. Because if it is, Arsenal have themselves a genuine problem solver, a striker who can deliver when the pressure is highest. The Chelsea match is the next test, a London derby. High stakes, maximum attention. Gyökeres will be eyeing another goal. He will be looking to continue the positive trajectory he has established over the last month and a half. And if he delivers, it could trigger something special. Not just for him, but for Arsenal's entire season. Because a confident, firing Viktor Gyokeres is a weapon that can change games and win titles. What Arteta has done well is manage the situation without panicking. He has not dropped Gyökeres. He has not publicly criticised him. He has continued to play him, continued to believe in him, and continued to work with him on the training ground to iron out the issues. That faith is starting to pay off. The improvements are visible. The contributions are increasing. The confidence is building. And this is where the parallel to his Sporting CP experience becomes so important. Gyökeres knows what it feels like to struggle initially in a new environment. He knows what it takes to overcome that struggle. He knows the process, learn the style, understand what the team wants, embrace the system, work hard, stay patient, trust the process. He did it once. He can do it again. The difference now is the stakes are higher. Arsenal are not just competing in their domestic league. They are trying to win the Premier League title against some of the best teams and managers in world football. Every drop point is magnified. Every missed opportunity is scrutinised. Gyökeres does not have the luxury of a slow burn. He needs to find top form quickly. And based on his recent performances, he is getting there. What makes his recent improvement even more impressive is that he is doing it while still adapting. He is not fully comfortable yet. He is not operating at 100% familiarity with Arsenal's patterns and movements. He is still learning, still adjusting, still figuring out the nuances of playing in Arteta's system. And yet he is already contributing at a level that is helping Arsenal win matches. Imagine what he will be capable of once everything clicks fully. That is the tantalising prospect for Arsenal fans. What they are seeing now is not the finished product. This is a player who is still in the adaptation phase, but already showing flashes of what made him so devastating in Portugal. Once he completes the adjustment, once he fully grasps the timing and movement patterns that Arteta wants, once he develops that instinctive understanding with his teammates, the goals could come in abundance. But getting to that point requires continued support from the manager, continued patience from the fans, and continued hard work from Gyökeres himself. The foundations are being laid, the progress is evident, the trajectory is positive. Now it is about maintaining that momentum and building on it week after week. The fact that Gyökeres is being honest about the challenge is refreshing. He is not hiding behind excuses. He is not pretending everything is fine when it clearly has not been perfect. He is acknowledging the difficulty while also expressing confidence that he is improving and learning. That level of self-awareness is crucial. It shows he understands what needs to happen. It shows he is actively working on the problems. It shows he has the mentality to overcome this. And that mentality is exactly what Arsenal need. They need a striker who can handle pressure, who can deal with criticism, who can work through difficult periods and come out stronger on the other side. Gyökeres has already proven he can do that in his career. His journey from Coventry City to becoming one of the most prolific strikers in Europe was not straightforward. It involved setbacks, adjustments and periods of doubt. But he navigated all of that and emerged as a genuine goal-scoring threat. Now he is facing another test, the biggest test of his career, playing for Arsenal in a title race under intense scrutiny with sky-high expectations in the most competitive league in the world. Everything is amplified. Everything matters more. And so far, he is showing that he has what it takes to succeed in this environment. The next few weeks will be crucial. Arsenal have big matches coming up. The title race is tight. Every point will be fought for desperately. Gyokeres needs to keep contributing. He needs to keep improving. He needs to show that his recent form is sustainable and not just a temporary spike. Because if he can do that, if he can prove that he has turned the corner, Arsenal suddenly look far more dangerous. A firing Viktor Gyokeres gives Arsenal a different dimension. He provides a focal point in attack. He offers movement and presence that stretches defences. He creates space for others with his runs and positioning. And most importantly, he scores goals. Not just any goals, but important goals. Goals that win matches, goals that change seasons. That is what Arsenal paid over £60 million for. That is what they need from him down the stretch. The challenging period appears to be ending. The adaptation is progressing. The improvements are clear. The manager is seeing it. The statistics are reflecting it. And Gyökeres himself is feeling it. He has been enjoying his time at Arsenal despite the difficulties. He has been learning and growing within the system. He has been embracing the challenge rather than being overwhelmed by it. That attitude will serve him well because the challenges are not over. There will be more difficult moments. There will be matches where nothing goes right. There will be criticism when goals do not come. But if he can maintain the same approach, the same work ethic, the same willingness to learn and adapt, he will come through it. Just like he did at Sporting CP, just like he has done throughout his career, Arsenal fans should take encouragement from recent performances. 6 goal contributions in 6 games is a significant return. It shows the talent is there. It shows he is capable of producing in big moments. It shows the adaptation is happening. Now it is about consistency. Now it is about maintaining that level week after week. Now it is about proving that Viktor Gyokeres can be the striker Arsenal need him to be. The London derby against Chelsea will provide another opportunity, another chance to build momentum, another chance to show progress, another chance to silence critics and prove doubters wrong. Gyökeres will be ready, he will be motivated, and based on everything we have seen in recent weeks, he will be dangerous. This is not the end of the story. This is barely the beginning. Viktor Gyokeres is still writing his Arsenal chapter, and if his recent trajectory continues, it could be a chapter filled with goals, success and vindication. The challenging times are not completely behind him, but he is moving through them with determination and improving with every match. That is all Arsenal can ask for right now, and it might just be enough to make the difference when the season reaches its climax.